All right, so back at it again this week for another little bit of a beginner class. So for class this week, you'll want a strap. So if you don't have a strap, a belt, a scarf, a tie, really anything that's kind of long and you can utilize in this way will work. If you do have some sort of blanket or pillow, so you don't want really a pillow that's really fluffy, you want one that's a little bit firmer. So any sort of pillow blanket situation that you can fold up kind of like this would be nice. That's all you'll need. So we'll get started today on our back. And as you come onto your back, make sure that you do have that strap and blanket handy. So you want them nearby. And then once you've arrived on your back, we'll take soles of the feet to the mat, knees toward one another, and let the hands come to rest on the belly. And just take 4 deep, slow breaths. So inhale through your nose. And a slow exhale right out through your nose. 3 more deep breath in. And slow breath out. Beautiful, last 2. And final breath. And gently allow your breath to return to a comfortable natural rhythm in and out through your nose if possible. And start to check in with your physical body. Beginning to notice anything that may be going on in the body in this moment. Notice any discomfort, any tightness, anywhere in the body that you may not be feeling very comfortable. And if you're not used to maybe laying on the floor, you may notice places that are kind of pressing into the floor. Notice that and adjust as needed. But once you are comfortable, see if you can gently allow the body to become still. Notice the connection of the soles of the feet. Notice the hands resting in this palms down shape. And notice your breath. And as we move through our practice today, really focusing on using your breath. And we focus on meeting ourselves as we are. And nice and slowly, just begin to blink your eyes open. And hug the knees into your chest. And try not to cross the ankles, even if that's your tendency, but just gently drawing the knees in. It can be any amount. It may be more comfortable to slide the hands around to the backs of the thighs rather than the fronts of the shins. And just find a little movement side to side. So beginning to become aware of the low back, beginning to become aware of the hips and the knees. Beautiful, and then nice and slowly land the soles of the feet back down onto the mat. This time, try to have the feet about hips distance, and they may be a little further away from the seat. It just depends where they comfortably land. And take a moment to reach down for your strap, and we'll take that strap around the ball of the right foot. So as you take the strap around the ball of the right foot, really try to have it around the ball of the foot, so that space right behind the toes. So instead of having it in the center of the foot, we really try to have it up toward the ball of the foot. And then slowly extend the right leg long. And it may not extend fully. You may have a slight bend in that knee. You may have more of a bend in that knee. It just depends on your hamstrings. And then slowly start to guide that right leg in any amount that is comfortable for you. And you want to find that place where you start to feel sensation, but that sensation isn't overwhelming. So you don't want to be feeling sensation that your body's trying to move away from. So if you're kind of pulling really far in and you're like, wow, I'm getting the best stretch I possibly can. Instead of that, ease off. That place where you first feel a stretch and we hold there. Because what happens when we go beyond where our body feels comfortable is those muscles actually start to tense up because they're trying to protect themselves. They don't want to be overstretched. So you want to find that place where you feel a stretch, but it's not overdoing it. Good, and we're here for 2 more breaths. 1 more. Good, and take a deep breath in. Slowly wiggle the strap off of that right foot and then cross the right ankle over the left knee. Let the right knee splay out toward the right side. Depending on how this feels in your body, you may stay exactly as you are. This may feel like plenty happening in that right hip. If that's the case, stay. If you want more sensation, you could start to slowly draw the legs in toward the chest, maybe using the strength of that left leg to hug them in. You still have that strap handy. You could thread that strap around the back of the left thigh. You could take the hands around the back of the left thigh if that's accessible, or even over the front of the left shin. But keep the right foot flexed. Check in with the knees. Check in with the right hip. And breathe deeply. And you may even find that just leaving that left foot on the mat, that right knee is kind of facing more toward your body. Just encourage the right knee to gently open. So there's a lot of different, what I like to call bus stops. So places to kind of get off the bus where you don't have to deepen the posture. So we don't want to go beyond where we feel comfortable and where our body feels comfortable. We have one more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly uncross the right ankle, land the right foot down to next to the left, and we take it to the left side. So strap comes around the ball of the left foot. Once again, try to have it really around the ball of the foot, not the center arch of the foot. This will help just to bring the stretch a little more into the calf versus just the hamstring. And then extend the left leg as much as comfortable. Maybe a slight bend, maybe it extends fully, but find that point where you feel sensation, but again, that sensation isn't overwhelming. So about right here is where I feel sensation. Could I pull this leg more? Sure, but we're gonna stay with where we feel sensation. If over the course of time, right now in this posture, I start to not really feel that stretch anymore, then maybe you slowly deepen. And remembering to breathe. Maybe even imagining that your breath is traveling into the back of that left leg. Maybe the hamstring, maybe the calf, maybe even with the strap around the ball of the foot, you feel this in the sole of the foot. Often that's quite common, especially if the sole of the foot is quite tight or tense. Good, one more deep breath in. Exhale, slowly wiggle the strap off of the left foot. Bend the left knee, cross left ankle over the right knee. And again, you may stay right here. You could even walk that right foot a little further forward to find a place that feels good for you. Again, you could lift the right foot off the mat. You could take the strap around the back of the right thigh, gently drawing in from there. You could take the hands around to the back of the right thigh or even to the top of the right shin. You may notice that one side is quite different than the other. Meet yourself where you're at. So just because you could move into the posture really deeply on one side doesn't necessarily mean that you can find the exact same shape on the second side. So aim for the same sensation, the same amount of stretch versus the exact same shape. Good, one more deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly land the right foot. Uncross the left ankle. Step the feet out to about the wide edges of your mat. And then slowly let the knees fall side to side. So over to the left, over to the right. One more time to the left and to the right. And then once again, hug the knees into your chest. Maybe find a bit of movement side to side. Notice the hips. They may feel a little bit different here. And then you can either rock forward and back or roll to one side to make your way to a seated position. And as you arrive in your seat, I'd encourage you to elevate the hips, especially if seated on the ground is not the most comfortable shape. If seated on the ground doesn't work at all, feel free to sit in a chair. Try to have it be as flat of a seated surface as possible in that chair. And you're gonna kind of scoot to the edge so you can sit with a tall spine versus kind of that rounding over that we often find. Also, if you're noticing that you're already rounding over seated with the legs crossed, what that usually means is that you're kind of scooping the tailbone under because the hips are tight. So this is where that blanket pillow situation comes even more in handy because you'll actually start to sit up on the edge of that blanket. And this will help to find better alignment. So notice that maybe the tailbone isn't scooped under as much. You can start to sit tall, shoulders over hips. So take a moment just to settle into a shape where you can have shoulders over hips. If you can cross the legs, cross the legs. If it feels better, soles of the feet together, legs kind of falling out to either side. Again, if you're just kind of rounding over and this is super uncomfortable, I really encourage you to sit in a chair, so a nice wooden chair, and you just sit right on the edge of that chair. So again, you can sit with a tall spine. Once you've arrived in that shape with a tall spine, slowly roll the shoulders up to your ears. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulders back and down and really think about pulling the shoulder blades toward one another. And then inhale, roll the shoulders up, back, hug the shoulder blades, and down. Good, 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Good, last one. And exhale. Okay, this time sitting with a nice tall spine. Try to let the shoulders just relax away from the ears. Sometimes a little movement wiggle side to side feels quite good. And as you exhale, let the chin fall forward toward your chest. Inhale, draw the right ear over to the right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right to right. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left to left. Exhale, chin to chest. Good. This time, inhale, right to right, pausing for a moment. Let that left shoulder really drop away from the ear. Maybe even walk those left fingertips out to the left, or let that left arm just dangle. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. One more. Exhale, let the chin fall forward back to your chest. And then left ear, left shoulder. As that left ear comes to the left shoulder, once again, think about right shoulder really, really heavy. Maybe the right arm dangles down. Maybe the right arm walks to the right. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Good, one more. Good, inhale here. Exhale, slowly chin forward toward the chest. As you inhale, no matter where you are seated, start to slowly imagine tilting the pelvis forward and then arching the spine. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, round. So come to that scooped tailbone position. So scoop the tailbone under, round the back, tuck the chin forward toward your chest. Good, inhale, arch. Feel the tailbone reach back. Roll the shoulder heads back. Lift the chest and chin. You can do this whether you're on a chair or on the ground. Exhale, round. Belly button to spine. Curl the tail. Good, one more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good, this time inhale, come up to a neutral spine, nice tall spine. So if you're in a chair, you can stay exactly as you are. If you have the legs crossed on the ground, switch the cross of your legs. So whichever leg's forward comes back, whichever leg is behind comes forward. So trying to keep a little bit more even in the hips. Likely that second side won't be quite as comfortable as the first side. If it's awful, you can switch back. And then with an inhale, sweep the arms out to either side, really open up. Imagine broadening the collarbones across the chest. Hug the shoulder blades toward one another on the back. And then exhale, right arm comes over, left arm comes under. Hug in. So that right arm under, left arm over, and then wiggle the fingertips, almost like you could touch them on your back. They won't touch, that's totally fine. But really try to draw the elbows to cross in front of you. Good, take a deep breath in. Long breath out. One more. Good, inhale, release the arms. Spread the arms nice and wide. Feel that broadening across the collarbones. Lift through the chest. Good. Exhale, left arm under, right arm over. Hug in the opposite way. Wiggle the fingers like you could touch them on the back. Opening up through the shoulders, through the upper back, feeling some space between the collarbones. Still sitting tall. Notice that tendency to slouch. Sit tall, shoulders over hips. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Inhale, release the arms. Spread wide once again. Exhale, right palm lands. Lift high to those left fingertips. You may bend into that right elbow a little bit, reaching out of the left hand. If you're in a chair, that right hand can just land right next to your seat on that chair, but lengthen out of the left hand. Left hand. Good. Inhale, slowly come all the way up to center. Left hand lands right high, opening up. Reach out of those right fingertips. Let the left elbow softly bend. Okay, this time inhale, come all the way up to center. Reach through both arms, find length. Exhale, twist to the right, but not bringing the hands down just yet. So you're using the strength of the core. Likely you're not going to move a whole bunch. Totally fine. But twist. Use that core strength. Deep breath in. Exhale, soften the hands down. Left hand to right thigh. Right hand comes to the mat behind you. If you're in a chair, maybe it comes toward the back of the chair, where the chair and the back meet, and then revolve the spine. Imagine each vertebrae just gently twisting on top of the other. Try to keep the spine long. So oftentimes here, especially if this seated position isn't super comfortable, we'll lean back into that right hand and kind of twist from there. So instead of that, you want to sit tall. Use that core strength and then twist. Looking all the way out over that right shoulder. Breathing deeply. Good. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, slowly unwind. Left hand stays. Right arm reaches high. And then exhale, cross the right hand in front of the left. See if you can bring hands to opposite knees and round the back. So really rounding the spine. Tuck the chin to the chest. Feel some space between the shoulder blades. Breathe deep. Good. Inhale, sit tall, unwind. Sweep the arms up. Find that length. Core engage your shoulders over the hips. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, twist left. So using that core strength. Using that length in the spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, right hand, left thigh. Left hand releases behind you to the mat or to the back of your chair. Looking out over that left shoulder. Finding that twist. Core stays strong. Again, remember not to lean back into that left hand. Try to keep shoulders over the hips. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale nice and slowly with control. Unwind. Right hand stays. Left arm reaches high. Exhale, round the spine. Left hand may come toward that right knee, or maybe you're just reaching the hands in opposite directions, but round the back. Tuck the chin forward toward the chest. Feel some space in the upper back, the space between the shoulder blades. Good, one more deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, nice and slowly, sit tall, release the hands, float the arms high. Exhale, sweep the hands out and down to either side. See about finding as much length and space as possible. Let the hands come all the way down to your mat. Beautiful. From here, make your way back down onto your back and have that blanket or pillow handy. And if you do have a blanket, you'll just want to kind of fold it up as much as possible until it kind of creates this sort of shape. So almost like a yoga block, but a blanket instead. If you have a pillow, the pillow can stay as it is. You may choose to kind of fold it in half the long way. If you have a couch pillow, kind of one of those square couch pillows, oftentimes that will work really well for this, but just have that off to one side of your mat. And then slowly lower back down onto your back and hug the knees in toward your chest. Maybe a gentle rock or sway side to side once again. Check in with the shoulders. Check in with the hips. And then slowly land the soles of the feet down onto the mat. And taking that prop, press into the feet, lift the hips, and just scoop that prop underneath you so that it's right underneath the pelvis. And then nice and slowly, see if you can lift the feet up in the air. So if lifting the feet all the way up in the air doesn't work, oftentimes doing this kind of right in front of a couch is really nice. So you could bend the knees to about 90 degrees. You'd be kind of scooted up, seat against the bottom of the couch. calves resting on the seat of the couch. You could also take this legs up the wall. So scooting your seat against the wall and then feet coming up the wall. Or you take it with that prop underneath you, whatever prop is best. Once you're there, extend the arms up high in the air as well. Make 2 fists with the hands. We're just gonna roll the wrists and ankles. So nice and slow. There's no rush, but try to come into your full range of motion. Articulating all of those really small bones in the wrists and ankles that allow us this range of motion. And so often we don't actually utilize that whole range of motion. Good. So find a little bit of stillness. Just let the hands relax. Take the left hand, fingertips pointing up toward the ceiling, and then draw the fingers to touch so that they're all touching one another. And then take the right hand toward those left fingertips and just draw the left fingertips back toward that left arm. So feeling into the wrist, feeling into the hand, feeling into the forearm. This may be really different depending on how this feels. So you may kind of find yourself right here in this sort of shape. The thumb can just hang out, no big deal, but find your variation. Good, one more deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly release, and we'll take it to the right side. So start to flex through that right wrist, pulling the fingers back. Left hand comes to hold those right fingers. So right fingers are all just drawing in toward one another. And then draw the right fingers back. Good, deep breath in. Exhale, release. Slowly draw the legs in toward the chest. And you may notice with the hips slightly elevated that you may be able to hug them in a little more. And then slowly taking a happy baby. So knees bend as if you were bringing them down toward your armpits. Flex the feet, so pull the toes back toward your shins. And then the hands may come toward the backs of the thighs. They may come toward the shins, the ankles, maybe the pinky toe edges of the feet. This is super dependent on how much space you have in hips and thighs. So if you're right here, hands to thighs, awesome. Stay there. Find the shape that works. If you're a little deeper, you can deepen as is comfortable and accessible in your own body. But try to have the knees nice and wide out toward either side of your body. So as if you're trying to pull the knees into the armpits and then soles of the feet shining toward the ceiling. Try to have the knees as close to 90 degrees as possible. Of course, if you're a little further out, they're not going to totally be 90 degrees, but just find that general action of trying to have knees about 90 degrees. Good, one more deep breath in. And exhale, release. Soles of the feet come back down onto the mat. Pressing lightly into the feet. Slide whatever prop you have beneath you out. If you don't have the prop underneath you because you're on the couch in that shape, totally fine. Come out. And then find a place where you can start to lie flat. So you may extend arms and legs long along your mat. If that's not comfortable, which sometimes it isn't, especially in the low back. So if you have low back pain, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat, knees toward one another. You could also try bringing soles of the feet together, knees wide, and then sliding the feet as close or as far away from the body that makes that comfortable. If that's feeling a bit uncomfortable in the hips, you could take pillows and kind of slide pillows right under each hip or thigh for a bit of support. But once you've arrived there, allow the eyes to slide closed. Allow the hands to rest on the belly or out to the sides. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. One more. And sigh it out. And just allow yourself a moment to be still. To allow your awareness to remain inward. Notice yourself becoming distracted by anything that may be happening around you. If the mind starts to wander, come back to breath. Come back to body. Slowly begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Take a full body stretch, if possible and comfortable in your body. You may roll to one side. You may press to a seat. It just depends what's best for you. And then we'll all meet in a seated position. Palms to touch at heart center. Bow the head forward toward your hands. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Draw thumb knuckles to third eye center. We bow to each other. Namaste.